Hello everybody, welcome back to a video where I talk over Stardew Valley, and today I wanted to talk about things getting in your way, regularly knocking things over, misjudging, I guess, distances between objects, and in short, that is kind of also what proprioception is. And that is something that people who are on the spectrum, I think maybe also ADHD, also has an issue. What it basically comes down to is proprioception is your, I guess, awareness of yourself within a space, like the physical items that are there in relation to your physical body, the distances, etc. So if you're regularly stumbling over things that aren't there, running into door frames, doors themselves, knocking over cups of coffee and tea on a regular basis, things like that, then you may have some issues with your proprioception. And I definitely have that as well. I regularly drop things or just kind of like stumble as well for no particular reason. Like I'll be standing there or walking slowly, particularly like when I'm walking the dog or something. And then suddenly I have to make a turn, or maybe not even have to make a turn, but I notice that I'm starting to lean. Then I have to take a few extra steps to prevent myself from falling over because I'm stumbling. And it always kind of makes me look like maybe I'm on something, or maybe I've been drinking, but neither of that is true because I actually don't really drink more than maybe once a year, like usually around New Year's. I'll have some champagne. And as far as substance use goes, I don't do any of that, so that's not the cause. It's just that my balance is super off, and that is also something that has to do with your proprioception. It's part of it, basically. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because the other day I was reminded of a couple of tests that they tend to do on people who are like in their 50s or something along those lines, like middle-aged people. They'll have them do a few tests, and the result of that test kind of also helps determine if they're gonna make it to a higher age or not. Kind of like if you're likely to survive long term based on these tests, and they have a lot to do with balance and flexibility and that type of thing, core strength type things. Like one of the things that they want to test is your grip strength. Now I don't really have a bar to pull myself up on, but I do regularly carry several bags of heavy groceries and things like that up the stairs, and that usually goes well. Also, lots of trash bags that have to grip all together. That usually goes well, so I think I pass on that one. Another one that they mentioned was like your speed of getting up off of a chair. I think that's also fairly good with me. Like my leg strength is pretty good. I don't think I have an issue with that. Another one is they have you sit down in like a cross-legged position on the floor, and then you're not allowed to use your hands and arms to get yourself back on your feet. And you have to do that with a little bit of a forward motion hop type thing to get yourself on your knees. A little difficult to explain, but basically there's a technique to it. You have like your feet, of course, sitting under your knees. And if you kind of take your feet and tuck them in a little further, it doesn't have to go very much further, then you can use like the weight of your body to hop forward a little bit onto your knees, and then you can unfurl your legs and then get up from there. Has a lot to do with flexibility, has a lot to do with core strength as well. And if you fail that test, then apparently that's also a very good indicator that you're not going to live for a very long time, or at least that you'll have some health issues coming up in your later years to deal with your core strength and flexibility. And another one that they do is they have you standing on one leg, and then they ask you to close your eyes. And that is the test that I failed spectacularly. Like, I usually have a little bit of an issue standing on one leg. Like I'll wobble a lot, like feel myself trying to reposition my foot constantly to stay under the weight, basically under the center of gravity. But with my eyes closed, I could barely keep it up for like 10 seconds the first couple of times that I tried. I've gotten a little bit better, but still not great. So that is something that people on the spectrum and people, I think also ADHD, will have to test for themselves, because that is an indicator that is used as a general health indicator for a good reason, because the people that do fail these tests also tend to prove that point by not making it past, I'm guessing, 80 or something. I'm not really sure if there's like an average age, but they will have issues when they get older, like past 60, I think, is when you start to notice some real trouble there. So I think out of all the people, I think people on the spectrum and people with ADHD have to really check with themselves how they're doing now, even if you're not yet 50 years old. Like if you're younger, great, start working on it now to try and prevent issues in the future. So when I noticed that I had a terrible balance, I went and ordered this balance board. I got it secondhand because new they're pretty expensive. I got one from the brand Sveltis. I don't really know what brand that is, but I went looking on secondhand websites, and the one that listed this one said that their physiotherapist had recommended it. And usually when it comes to things like this, and it says that their physiotherapist said you should use this one, I think that's probably a good idea to get that one rather than a cheap one from like the Action or something, because I'm pretty sure they have those as well. Another thing with those from the Action is that they tend to be made 100% out of plastic, and that's really bad for my wooden floor. And this one actually has a bit of a hardened felt type center underneath, so I think if I just keep moving it to different places and I don't stay in the same spot for too long, it should be okay for my floor. So I guess I'm going to use that to watch videos and stuff like that, because normally I would just kind of sit on the desk chair and not move much. Now, a lot of the stuff that I do in the evenings for my own entertainment also requires that I use the keyboard and stuff like that, so I can't be doing the balance board every time when I'm behind the computer. I will have to actually use the mouse and keyboard, which is not very handy with a balance board. But other than that, I also spend a lot of time just kind of watching videos idly, and I could do that while balancing. I've done that for about, I would say, 10 minutes already with my eyes open, I gotta say. And once I'm comfortable with that, I'm going to try with my eyes closed. But the main point being that I'm working on my balance, which I think is a good thing to check. At least I'm working on my balance because that's the one test that I kind of failed, and the others were okay, so we'll of course continue to work on core strength to make sure that I don't start failing those tests. And flexibility, also very good, but I have like this back stretcher type thing. You put it on the floor, you lay down on it, and then it has these little points all the way along that kind of like push your rib cage open while you're lying down in, because it like puts you at a bit of an angle. And a lot of people apparently find that really painful, and me, I'm just comfortable on there. I don't know. Maybe my back is just hypermobile or something, because that's also a thing that you can have with ADHD and autism, I think. I don't have hypermobility anywhere else, but my back seems to be pretty mobile, so that's good. But anyway, I'm going to continue to work on my balance. And in the meanwhile, let me know in the comment section if you've ever tried these exercises. And if you haven't, go ahead and try them and then tell me the results. And if you don't like the results too much, then let me know how you're going to fix them. In the meantime, thanks for listening. I hope to see you in another video, and bye-bye for now.